Welcome back, boxing fans, to another lunchtime boxing talk. See, just as I predicted, some people are exploiting this Ryan Garcia PED situation, this scandal, for their own individual narratives, making this all about race, using it as a way to criticize all non-black fighters, all to fanboy for black American fighters, acting as if the only people that ever cheat in sports are non-black athletes, and while black American athletes are purer than the driven snow and would never and have never cheated in any sport. Yet we know this is a fabrication. It's not close to being true. Athletes cheat. Athletes have used advantages in sports since the 1920s, whether they're corking the bat, fixing the baseball, you know, taking performance enhancing drugs, losing something to cut weight, changing their car so that it goes faster than everybody else's. People have always tried to get an advantage, and it has nothing to do with race. It's not racial. So why do these YouTube boxing channels want to jump on this and act as if it's all about race? If this was Devin Haney that got caught using PEDs, everybody would be totally saying something different. It's always the same bullshit, always deflecting and always using it for hate. And that's the irony in this situation. These people pushing these videos and pushing these narratives are really being the ones that are pushing hate towards the sport of boxing. We literally have two huge cards this weekend. Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia. Obviously, we just saw the blowout in the press conference where Canelo Alvarez wanted to punch Oscar De La Hoya in the mouth. We also have a great card coming from Japan, which is literally going to fill out 55,000 people in the Tokyo Dome. The last time a boxer has been in the Tokyo Dome was when Mike Tyson fought Buster Douglas, an historical upset. The question now is, can Luis Nery pull off a similar upset this weekend against Inoue? And for that point, can Munguia pull one of the biggest upsets in boxing by beating Canelo Alvarez, just like Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney? People were going to make excuses. They have been making excuses, and unfortunately this whole Ryan Garcia just gives people more ammunition to push these excuses and these narratives that they just use to push racial narratives on YouTube, right? Just exposing themselves for what they really are, not boxing fans, because they consistently are looking for some reason to point fingers at everybody else and never taking any responsibility for their own actions or people within their culture or community that actually do the exact same thing they're criticizing and attacking people for. The irony is, Tank Davis just came out and defended Ryan Garcia and said that it's bullshit, he's not cheating, he's not using PEDs. Ironically enough, leading into their fight, Tank Davis accused Ryan Garcia of using PEDs, so have that explained as best as you can. But this just shows you, Ryan Garcia is being defended by Tank Davis, a black American fighter. And of course, we can all assume why he's doing that, because he is pushing the narrative against Devin Haney, happy and exalted in Devin Haney's loss to Ryan Garcia, a guy he already beat, right? Is that somehow racial? Of course it's not. But people will ignore this to only focus on specific stories where they can make it all about race, which is what they've been doing since Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, acting like the only people who supported Floyd were black Americans, which is totally not true at all. But okay, if that makes you feel better or sleep better, continue to push that narrative. We've seen all these people criticizing Ryan Garcia for being a weight bully, yet they didn't have the same energy for Devin Haney and other fighters who use weight bully tactics themselves. Literally, Regis Prograis just attacked Devin Haney for putting on over 20 pounds advantage against him in their fight. Yet people dismissed it and ignored it, acted like it wasn't really a big thing. But now, of course, that their fighter, Devin Haney, lost, then of course it becomes a story where now it's an issue. Now Ryan Garcia is the weight bully. How these people pick and choose the story when it suits them. I like to pick and choose her. But let's move forward. Even Lomachenko, people say, oh, Lomachenko drained him. Well, how's Lomachenko draining an undisputed champion? He didn't drain him. He's fighting at the natural weight that he's fighting at. Devin Haney was the champion of that weight class. If he was struggling to make the weight, he should have did what I said to do, move up. I never said he had to fight Lomachenko at 135. And then when people are acting like somehow Devin Haney deserves a rematch with Ryan Garcia, these same people didn't feel that with Lomachenko, who actually performed far better than Devin Haney did against Ryan Garcia. These guys literally came out with videos saying that Lomachenko doesn't deserve a world title fight against Kambosos because he's coming off of a loss. Yet these guys literally a week before were praising Errol Spence for potentially getting a Funduro world title fight, coming off of an ass whipping and a knockout loss, and trying to act like this is the same scenario. How exactly is that the same scenario? Lomachenko lost what many people felt was a controversial fight to Devin Haney. Many people felt that. You can ignore it, downplay it, that's fine. But the reality is you can't compare Lomachenko's performance to Haney to Errol Spence's performance versus Bud Crawford. Obviously, Bud Crawford beat the crap out of Spence and stopped him. Hello, right? Lomachenko didn't get stopped. He didn't get the crap beat out of him. Actually, any round that was really dominant was done by Lomachenko. Devin Haney didn't have any dominant rounds against Lomachenko, unlike Teofimo Lopez, who did. But let's not get distracted. Let's not deflect. The point is, you know, I have people coming on my channel accusing me of defending Ryan Garcia. I'm not defending anyone. Not for being overweight, not for using PEDs. It has nothing to do with me. I don't care. I'm not the one who negotiated the contract. I'm not the one that agreed to the fights. It has nothing to do with me. I just want to see fights get made. The fight got made. Ryan Garcia won. If you want to look for excuses to take away Ryan Garcia's victory and somehow give the benefit of the doubt to Devin Haney, do you. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. Because when it comes down to it, I wasn't calling Ryan Garcia a pound-for-pound fighter. Even after beating Devin Haney, you didn't see me putting him on my pound-for-pound list. So if the fight becomes a no contest, Devin Haney is awarded a no contest and no loss in his resume, and then Ryan Garcia does what he does, and Devin Haney moves forward doing what he does. It is what it is. You know, you can't take away what people saw. People literally saw Ryan Garcia dropping Devin Haney with every single left hand he threw. And so inevitably, much like Deontay Wilder, Devin Haney will be beat somewhere down in the future by some other opponent, even if it's not Ryan Garcia, just like Wilder was by obviously Parker. So I'm not worried. I don't have any fucking horse in the race. It is what it is. I said all along that Devin Haney wasn't a pound-for-pound top 2 fighter. This fight just exposed that. If you want to make excuses for it, go ahead, make excuses to justify your fighter who you have on a pound-for-pound top 10 in the top 2, as if he's the second best fighter in the sport behind Bud Crawford, even though no real boxing fan actually believes that. But that's fine. The truth is, the only reason people are talking about this is because they want to use it. They want to exploit it. If it wasn't this PED thing, we'd already seen all the other excuses come out. We saw Devin Haney's dad all over social media calling Ryan a cheater because of the whole weight issue. Yet these same people didn't feel that way when Floyd Mayweather came in 3 pounds over the agreed weight to fight Juan Manuel Marquez. And literally nobody was all over social media chastising and criticizing Floyd Mayweather video after video after video, calling him a weight bully, right? Nobody. And this was a guy who was pound for pound one of the top fighters in the sport, unlike Ryan Garcia. Mostly people are talking about that fight because they were shocked and surprised by the performance. Nobody really envisioned that Ryan Garcia was going to win the fight. We all knew he had the power in his left to potentially pull off the upset, but no one expected it to be this dominant of a performance. People felt it would be a one shot that landed, knocked out Haney, and that would be it. Not consistently going back to the well and having success. Now for Ryan Garcia, people are gonna ask for a rematch, but in truth, Devin Haney got what he wanted. A big payday and more attention than he's ever got in his career. So he's gonna be far more recognized, far more well-known throughout boxing circles than he was prior to this fight. For Ryan Garcia, I still hope he goes forward and fights Teofimo Lopez for his WBO title at a catchweight. It's a big fight. We know Ryan Garcia, like Tank Davis, isn't fighting for titles, he's fighting for money. And the irony is when Tank Davis does it, people defend him. And he's a pound for pound top 10 fighter. When Ryan Garcia does it, somehow he should be held to a higher level of criticism. Yet nobody ranks him. He's never been a world champion. He is a social media person who's capitalizing on that, just like Jake Paul. So, you know, let's hold him to the correct level of criticism, which is very little because nobody really ranks him or expects much out of him. But, you know, some people are still going to move forward. There's going to be a million videos talking about this. People are going to ignore the whole Canelo card. They're going to ignore, of course, Inoue. And these same people have openly criticized Inoue for using PEDs as a way to criticize and hate on him. Do you see the consistency? Why are they hating on Canelo for PEDs? Yes, he did fail a test, but since then, he's had no issues at all, and that's been years and years and years. Ryan Garcia, Inoue, Lomachenko, Golovkin, Kovalev, it doesn't matter. If you're a non-black fighter, people are going to find ways to criticize you, just like they did Manny Pacquiao, who never failed a test, never had an adverse test result, yet throughout his career, once he was mentioned in the same sentence with Floyd Mayweather, all of a sudden he was a PED user and a drug cheat. People just don't want to give non-black fighters any credit at all. They always want to find a way to criticize them and act as if they're not doing it the proper way, that they're doing it because they're cheating, right? That was the whole Fury Glovegate situation. Yet Fury's moved on since then, now has a huge fight with Usyk, and if he beats Usyk, he's going to be an undisputed champion, the first one since Lennox Lewis, setting up a huge fight with Anthony Joshua. He's moved on. Show you what he's done since the Deontay Wilder fights. Wilder since then has done very little. A one-round KO and then a loss. And now he's going to be fighting Wang, Zhang, and we'll see what happens there. If he wins that fight, potentially an AJ fight. If not, then what? Then he's going to be a stepping stone if he wants to stay around that much longer. But we will see. I ain't hating on any of these fighters. I'm just a boxing fan that's talking about the sport, the great cards that are made, the great fights that are being set up. And as far as cheating and PED and this kind of stuff, I'm not interested. I'm not a part of the negotiation. I don't get involved in their contracts. So when we get into these topics of how much people are getting paid, size of rings, gloves, all of this kind of VADA testing, it has nothing to do with me. As a boxing fan, I just want to see the fight. Now people say, oh, you don't care if somebody gets hurt? Oh my God, what are you, their fucking mother? Why do you care? Because in truth, you don't care. If the shoe was in the opposite foot, you wouldn't give a shit. When Subriel Matiz killed the Russian fighter in the ring, none of you were fucking up in arms because he died. No, not at all. You guys didn't even care when fucking Conwell killed Patrick Day. So rest me on that kind of bullshit narrative. You guys don't really give a fuck about any of these fighters. You're just exploiting the situation to make money off of YouTube or push your racial narratives. And that's what this is all about. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, you'd be calling people racist, you'd be deflecting, you'd be defending, you'd be doing everything you could to downplay it. Miller got caught using a plethora, a cocktail of PEDs against Anthony Joshua, for AJ's American debut. You guys used it as a way to criticize AJ for end up getting beat by Andy Ruiz and shit on him and his career, and yet basically gave Miller a pass. You didn't see me exploiting that, trying to hate on black American fighters because Miller, or recently Baumgardner, getting caught using PEDs, because I don't care. I'm not trying to exploit these issues to make money from AdSense on my YouTube channel. I'm not trying to use these situations to push some racial narrative. I understand it has nothing to do with race. People cheat, especially when there's tens of millions of dollars involved. If you were going to pay me $25 million to do something, I would cheat too if I thought it was going to get me paid. Because if I'm not killing someone, then what's wrong with a little bit of cheating? But apparently you guys are so much above that, even though we know you're full of shit. But leave your comments below. What do you think about all this recent controversy? Do you think really this is the biggest topic that's going on now in boxing? Ryan Garcia failing a PED test? Or are you more enamored with some of the great fight cards that have been made and some of the great fights we have happening this weekend? Shouldn't that be our focus? Shouldn't that be the thing boxing channels are talking about? But you know, it's just going to be Ryan Garcia this, Ryan Garcia that, Ryan Garcia this, people defending Ryan Garcia, racist fans defending Ryan Garcia, blah, blah, blah. Literally, people are going to make a million videos. Look at John Boxing. Since Devin Haney got beat, he's already made 25 videos all about those two fighters, trying to deflect, make excuses, and blame everybody else. And you know that's just going to be even more from the LDBC, who've blatantly been Devin Haney fanboys. And they're going to make it all about race, even though there's plenty of black American fighters and black American YouTube channels going the opposite direction. I mean, Showbiz is defending Ryan Garcia. Punch Truck Boxing is defending Ryan Garcia. Southpaw Boxing defending Ryan Garcia, and many others. And none of those guys are white Caucasian boxing channels. But people are going to use it to put a racial divide, because this is what they love. They love controversy because controversy sells. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, and share.